I'm Malcolm Jolley for MJ Winebox with an exclusive podcast interview with Jens Peter Barynin from VV Economics. Jens Peter, you're our go-to man for all things wino economics. It's Monday, February 3rd. We're waiting for the Trump tariffs to hit Canada tomorrow. Uh, in the province of Ontario, Doug Ford has said that the LCBO will stop carrying American products starting tomorrow, and will stop not only stop retailing them in the LCBO stores where most people in this province buy alcohol, but also the wholesale and distribution part of the LCBO. So restaurants and bars, for instance, will no longer be able to stock American products as of tomorrow, unless something happens in
Mhm.
the less than the next 24 hours. Seems doubtful. Um, is
Yeah.
this a good idea? I mean, will this make any difference, do you think?
It's funny, Malcolm, when I first heard that Doug Ford, like I think it was like a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks ago, he said they're going to tax us and we're going to remove all their alcohol. And my as a Canadian, I was like, yeah, man, we'll show them.
Yeah.
It's gonna hurt. So then immediately, because I'm into wine economics, I started pulling up the numbers and I was like, oh, this isn't actually that consequential from any perspective of economics.
It,
So,
it looks like it. Like, so I did a Google for the LCBO, and so I don't know how scientific this is, but it gave me the top wine brands. Of the top five, the first four were California Cabernet Sauvignons, so,
yeah,
$20 bottles of wine.
right,
Big brands, and they must be popular. They
right.
take up a lot of shelf space, prominent shelf
Hmm.
space. So,
Hmm.
I mean, from Ontario consumer point of view, it looks like we buy a lot of American wine.
Right. Well, okay, so I think first of all I think that's an important thing to recognize. Like what do you say? Four out of the five number one selling wines in the LCBO are American. So that almost sounds like, if you had nothing else to think about, like didn't walk through the store or whatever, you'd be like, oh my God, 80% of all the wine on the shelves at the LCBO are American, right? But we know that's not true. So that stat is sort of clouding. I think it's clouding reality. It's more a statement of the number of people we purchase wine from in the US. In other words, we buy a lot of like large producer type wine with large volumes. And that might be characteristically different than other countries. I've never actually looked at the data. But what I do know is that when you look at the trade data, the US, looking from Canada, importing wine from other countries, the US is about 12. It varies. It can be as high as 18%, but generally it looks like it's about 12, 13% of all the wine we import from the world.
Are the Americans gonna feel this? I mean, does it matter to them?
Not really, Malcolm. The fact, okay, LCBO is the largest. It is. Check this out again. It appears to be the largest single retailer purchaser of wine in the world, and we know also that Canada is the number one export market for American-produced wine. So we are important to them. But how important is that? Not not terribly to the industry at large. In short, our consumption in Ontario of American wine amounts to 1% of all of US production, right? So it's not that big. And you can imagine that companies could divert their product to other markets. They might have to discount a little bit, but the big companies, those they have supply channels. They don't have to go build a new market. They can tap into their other markets. I think the ones who are most vulnerable in the US are those smaller boutique wines, specialty wines that really the Canadian market is a big thing for them, you know. I don't know
Right.
what percentage, but you know, there's going to be some pain, but overall, um, this Ford announcement isn't is not terribly alarming. Not certainly not to Trump. He's not going to go, oh my God, we're losing the LCBO. Not to Trump and not to the industry at large.
So it's not going to make the front page of the Wall Street Journal tomorrow.
No, 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 it won't. No.